its best.
A very good morning, and thank you so much for being a part of Family TV. We thank you so much for being a good audience, and I'm here with issues at hand. My name is Karo Noamani. Welcome back from Good Morning Family with Bruno and Daphne. And now, of course, we are going to get into issues that affect us socially, economically, politically, as well as spiritually. Spiritually, especially because today we are going to talk about, of course, some of the things that affect the Anglican Church positively. I'm talking about a new diocese that was born recently in West Ruwenzori. Of course, I'm going to get into the details after I introduce my guests today, but I hope you're having a warm morning, and we shall have a very great show. In studio with me is Mrs. Odoi, Judith Mupalya, part of the planning team for the new diocese that we are going to be talking about. And then we have, of course, the Honorable Jen Alisemera. She's a commissioner with Electoral Commission of the NRM Secretariat, and of course, okay, her name is Honorable Jen Alisemera Babiha. I had forgotten that one, but of course, let them introduce themselves, and then we will go right ahead. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Let's start with Mrs. Odoi. Judith, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my name, as you have heard, is that one, Judith Odoi Mupalya. I'm a retired civil servant.
Okay.
And I've been involved in the planning team. We are trying to mobilize the population towards this good cause, noble cause of having our diocese begin.
Okay.
And that's why we are here.
All right.
Thank you.
Then we will go to Honorable Jane Alisemera Babiha. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
We usually see you in NRM circles, but today you're here in another glory.
Thank you, Carol. I'm also seeing you here because I always hear no money.
Oh.
Alisemera Jane Babiha. I work with the NRM Electoral Commission. I'm a commissioner there. And on this, I hail from Bundibugyo. From Bundibugyo, and now I'm part of the team which is organizing for the consecration and enthronement of the bishop. And I'm also the coordinator for the Church of Uganda here from Ruwenzori Diocese to All Saints Church, which we normally hold every first Sunday of the month, and I coordinate Bundibugyo with the with the Ruwenzori Diocese in Kampala.
Amazing. Of course, the first bishop, if I take you back a bit, of West Ruwenzori Diocese was supposed to be inaugurated in December 2021, and by the September of that year, things were supposed to have been, of course, complete. We're talking about the bishop's residence, the administration of the church, but because of COVID, this was delayed a bit, and of course, we saw the Archbishop, the Right Reverend, the Most Reverend Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, then setting off and saying, okay, it is well, the Diocese of West Ruwenzori can now go ahead. The diocese is composed of 3 archdeaconries, 21 parishes, and 163 churches. Now, with a population of 165,000 people, Christians, I believe that the diocese is set to start off in high power, in high gear. And of course, before we go anywhere, I'd like to start with the history of the diocese. Many dioceses have interesting histories if you are to look at them, but today we're focusing on the West Ruwenzori diocese. I would like to understand where exactly did it come from and how did it come to be born? Is it something of yesterday, or has it taken some years pursuing this diocese? Maybe let me start with Honorable Jen Alisemera Babiha.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol. This diocese, the people of Bundibugyo have been trying to get it ever since, for the last 40 years. We've been trying to get it, but it has not been easy. But eventually, we thank God that it has happened. So 40 years, that time we were still young. Now you see how we are. We are mature and we are big, we are old. And now we are happy to see that we are also part of the team which is going to celebrate with the first bishop of West Ruwenzori. It is carved out of Ruwenzori Diocese. That is our mother diocese. It is now getting another baby called West Ruwenzori in Bundibugyo district, in the mountains of Ruwenzori. Behind the mountain, you find Bundibugyo district, and that's where you'll find the West Ruwenzori Diocese, and the location is in Bumadu. It is in the town council of Bundibugyo district. So we are just happy to have this diocese. Amen. Yes.
All right, and Mrs. Odoi, do you have anything about the history to tell us?
Yes, she has already explained, Honorable has already explained, we have yearned for this diocese for a very long time. The people have been eager. There have been many ups and downs in the process. But there are people who have championed it, and we cannot avoid talking about them. The current Bishop of Ruwenzori Diocese, the Most Reverend Reubin Kisembo, the current bishop, has done a lot of work in supporting this new diocese. And we really want to thank him so much for that, and his team at the Ruwenzori Diocese in Fort Portal. We have been able to have a bishop-elect. He was elected on 3rd April this year. He's Reverend Barnabas Tibaijuka. I'm sure most of you now already know that we have this bishop elect who is going to be consecrated or inaugurated on 27th August this year. So there's a lot that has to happen before that D-Day. The preparations are in high gear, and there are a lot of things that we need to put in place before that day. Actually, he needs to occupy his official house as quickly as possible. And that's why we are here to appeal to all people of God. We only have 1 month now, approximately 1 month to have this happen. So that's why we are here to appeal to all people of God from all walks of life to come in and support us, so that we can have a successful inauguration of the first bishop of West Ruwenzori Diocese.
Okay, before I get to Bishop Barnabas Tibaijuka as a person, can I first understand, the diocese was supposed to have completed, for example, like the home of the bishop, the residence and the administration offices in 2021. We are in 2023. Is it complete? Is everything ready for the bishop to start off?
We can say we are about 85%. You can't have everything in place, but we have tried with resources from the whole diocese. In fact, from the mother diocese, then the new diocese, churches all over in the Ruwenzori region. So we have managed to complete like 85%, like the bishop's house. We need now furniture, equipping it, and doing some little church, making sure that the house is ready for him to enter. But even if he entered now, he'll sleep. Then this church, the buildings have taken long because we had COVID. During COVID, we could not do anything. You could not mobilize. We are not getting out to talk to people, and so it also stalled. So we've just started after COVID, and Christians, all Christians in Bundibugyo, all Muslim communities, even other faith-based organizations have come to help this West Ruwenzori Diocese, because they are not looking at it like it is only for Protestants. No, they are looking at it as a program for the people of Bundibugyo, for the people of Uganda, for the people of Ruwenzori. So people have really brought in resources, and this one takes me now to appealing. And before I go to the appeal, I want to tell you that I want to tell you that this we've had a team, and this team is headed by Honorable Tabazi Harriet, the Minister for Trade, yes, State Minister for Trade, and she's our chairperson here in Kampala, and we are soliciting for funds. Okay. Of course, she being our head. Okay.
Let's get to the Bishop Barnabas Tibaijuka as a person. He's very studied. He has a master's degree from Mountains of the Moon University. And what I want to understand is your opinion on leadership in church. Is it by anointing, or because we are looking at a very studied man, yet he decided to let go and serve the Lord? Do you think that for you to serve in church, you must have those kinds of books, or is it an anointing from God? Mrs. Odoi, let me start with you.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, leadership comes from God. However educated, however studied, however knowledgeable, it is God who must anoint you in the first place. So these other things come in along the way. But God is the one who plans your path in life. I do believe that God planned the path for our bishop-elect, and he has been on the ground preaching. He has preached for us, to us many times, here, there in Bundibugyo, but also elsewhere. So we are happy that God has made that path for him to lead the flock. And he has been leading it very well, and I am sure when he's finally there, he will continue to lead our people spiritually very well. Okay. Of course, he has the support, like I told you, of our mother diocese of Ruwenzori in Fort Portal. Okay. Yes.
Maybe to add on something, this reverend, his family. He's a son of a reverend Wedime, but he passed on. So he comes from a home where he has been with a father who is a reverend. Maybe he used to admire the father and what he used to do. So maybe that one could also be something which he grew up seeing, because after his education, he could have continued the other side, but maybe I think he chose to do this, to come to join the house of God, so that he can serve the people, the ministry of God, and he serves us better maybe, and we are sure he's going to do it.
Of course, at this point is where I want to ask you question that is not part of the diocese. I cannot have mothers in the studio and fail to ask why the youths today are opting for other ways other than Christ, other than the Bible, other than the Lord. Because if you look at the church income, it comes from us, the people who attend the church. And so we have to do everything we can to make sure that the youth also find their way back to church. But I'm just going to understand from these ladies here why they think the youths today are going astray. They are choosing other paths that are not godly. Should I start with Honorable Jane Alisemera?
Thank you. Thank you. The youths of today, I think the families also have to blame. We, the mothers and the fathers. Because if you don't stay with your father, with your mother, like our children we have taken them more. We have taken the children who have left them to the teachers, the maids, and we have become career mothers. So there is the interaction with our children is so small that children don't even know what you think about ABCD. Sundays, people are going for coaching. You are taking children for coaching. Saturdays, children are going for coaching. Tell me when that child will think about God. So, and also peer pressure. There is a lot of peer pressure in their schools. Children would rather listen to their fellow children other than listening to their parents, just because you have not bonded. There is no bonding in the homes. You'll find the child, instead of asking you, the mother or the father, is asking a maid, is asking the fellow teenager, and they will tell them whatever they see. Because those teenagers, others come from different homes, from different social backgrounds. So when they mix, that's when you start seeing these ones. And at the end of the day, you see funny behavior in the homes. For me, that's what I think.
Okay, let's hear from Mrs. Odoi.
Yes, thank you, Carol. Our young people these days are also taken up by quick money. They want quick gains, forgetting that you have to work for it. And sometimes they are, like Honorable has already said, they are not well guided by the parents. The parents are also not there most of the time. They are up and down running to look for money. So the child is lost, is not guided, wants money, and the child even has nobody to tell him that today is a Sunday, we must go to church. That is lacking so much, and it has led to what we are seeing now. And we hope that as you people continue to talk to parents, they should be able to guide their children very well. Some of us have tried our best, and we have seen the results are good. We also appeal to other parents to go back home and really bond with their children so that they can guide their children for a good future.
Of course, we have to do our best. We can only try, like from the media, we can only bring you these people to tell you these things on air. But another thing is that since you are on the planning committee of the diocese, is it possible for you to come up with some programs of the youth at that church? Because I'm sure people from West Ruwenzori are watching right now. So is it possible for you, are you planning to come up with youth programs that will engage this youth more so that the issue we are talking about can be rectified in a way?
In fact, you can see even the bishop, who is the bishop-elect, is still youthful. He's still a young man, and I'm sure one of the programs he's going to put in place is for the youth, because the population which should come to church is the youth. They are the youths, because they are more than us, the older persons. So we have to engage the youth. We have to get a program for the youth to call them from wherever they are and put there some messages which will give them, which will empower them to join the church, so that at least they have a responsible family life.
Let's get back to the diocese. What is the relationship between Ruwenzori Diocese and West Ruwenzori Diocese? Is there any partnership going on, or is it a standalone?
No, it's not a standalone. We have already told you that we have been carved out of
the mother diocese.
The mother diocese, Ruwenzori Diocese. And the bishop and his entire team have been in the lead in this. So we are not really a standalone. They have supported us, and they are going to continue supporting us. They have mobilized all their parishes, all their churches towards this cause. And I'm sure, when you give birth to a child, you don't just give birth and leave it there.
True.
You have to nurture that child. You have to make sure it sits, it stands, it begins to move. So I'm sure they are going to continue in that process. We are very sure they are going to do it. As we also ask for other Ugandans to come in and support.
Okay. Yes, Honorable Jen, anything to add about the relationship?
It will continue being cordial. West Ruwenzori Diocese will continue being a child of the Ruwenzori Diocese. With our Bishop, Reuben Kisembo, I'm sure he will also continue nurturing us. I see us not leaving Ruwenzori Diocese very quickly, because the new diocese now is like it is a virgin place. Nobody knew how we didn't know how, we don't know how bishops are treated right down there. Okay, they are treated, we know that we have been having a bishop, but now this one is a person from our place, and this is the tribe mate, and we don't know how things are done properly, even when we are Christians, but we shall continue being guided by our mother diocese, and I'm sure our bishop, Bishop Reuben Kisembo, will continue guiding us, because this is what we want, and we don't want to get blocked as we move. We want a smooth running. When the child is born, it crawls, it starts walking. When we start running, he can start pulling out. And that is my appeal also to him.
That is very, very encouraging. Of course, on August 27th, the bishop will be inaugurated and consecrated back home in his new diocese. But before that, let's take a very short break. We return with very many other stories about the diocese and as well as mobilization. Stay with us, don't go anywhere. We're back with issues at hand. Thank you so much for keeping it Family TV. Of course, we are here to congratulate, first of all, the new West Ruwenzori Diocese, to thank God for its birth, and of course talk about mobilization and the plans to inaugurate and consecrate their new bishop, that is the Bishop-elect Barnabas. And I would like to understand from my guests right about now, if he is put in office on 27th August this year, is he ready for office, and what are some of the things he is going to start with as a bishop? I told you the diocese is composed of 3 archdeaconries, 21 parishes, 163 churches, and with a population of 165,000 Christians. That's a very big population, that's a big community of people, and we would like to just understand the details about the preparations and how exactly it's going to be done. We'll start with Mrs. Odoi to tell us if the bishop of the new West Ruwenzori Diocese is ready for office in case he is put on, actually not in case, is he ready for office for that day, the 27th of August 2023? Is he ready for office?
Yes, thank you, Carol. The bishop-elect right now is getting ready for the office. On 27th August, he will be ready for the office.
Okay.
To take over the office and start his work. He will enter his office, put the structures in place for him to begin the work, put the personnel in place to help him do his work, and then that is where now we will require resources to support him in that office when he begins. The Christians in Bundibujo have been mobilized.
They are aware?
They are aware for quite some time now. They themselves have been involved in mobilizing the resources. The little that they have put it there.
That's great.
The one who has 1,000, he has put it there. The one who has 100,000 has put it there. Everybody of these Christians, the 160,000 plus Christians, has been mobilized towards that. I am sure they are going to continue to support the bishop in his office when he takes it over.
Okay, Honorable Jen, to add on that, is he, what are the preparations and how many districts exactly fall under the West Ruwenzori Diocese?
Apparently it is only one district. And just because of the location of this district, and the infrastructure of the infrastructure. That's why most of the people in Bundibugyo continue to say we want this, we want this. Because they are behind the mountain. And behind the mountain, you find Bundibugyo and of course other many beautiful things. Now, we are ready. The district is one, but the population is geared up to support the diocese because this will be the first of its own, and it is going to be the first of its own, of its kind in Bundibugyo. And if only you can see what we do, we are composed of. We have Muslims on the committee. This committee, we have the Muslims. We have one of them is called Kihanda Hassan, the fireman. He's a Muslim, but he's the one we call the chief of the people of Bundibugyo living in Kampala, outside and in Kampala, within and outside Kampala. We have now Honorable Ntabazi Harriet, who is the chairperson of our organizing committee. We have ourselves. We have Mrs. Odoi, we have Alisemera Jane, we have Mrs. Ada Kabarokole Mwanga. You know those people, I think. And many other. We have also young people like Ramadan Kirambi. You can see we are all together for this noble cause, and we are proud to have our diocese because we've been looking for it for the last 40 years. So it is really energizing, and we feel good about it. When we talk about it and we see our bishop, we're excited. We want things to happen tomorrow. Yes.
Okay. Just a few months to go, so I believe we will be preparing from now to then. And of course, the biggest issue is mobilization because it is needed. Like
Too
I
much.
said,
Too much.
The funds are supposed to come, of course, from the people. But just to understand what is your operational budget for this big day, what is your operational budget, how will it be funded? Of course, I've talked about mobilization, but you can break it down a little bit again. Should I start with Mrs. Odoi?
Yes, thank you. Resources needed now amount to 426 million shillings to complete quite a number of things, and also to look after the guests when they come. We expect to have many guests that day, and they will be our guests, all of them. This budget, the Christians have tried so much to put in something, but the gap is still big. We have to complete the bishop's house, like she told you. He can enter, yes, but it's not yet that level that we want, because he will have guests from all over the country. So we want to put it at that level where he can be able to host his guests very well, and so that they feel comfortable. So we have to look after the guests when they come, their welfare, their mobility while they are with us. So all those, the gap is still there, big as you see it. So that's why we are appealing to our people, to all the people in this country, to come in and support us. We already have a bank account in Equity Bank, and can I read it?
No, we're going to get time at the end for the reading, but for now, just maybe highlight. Is it possible to highlight how much of the 426 million you have, or it's not possible?
It isn't.
I think that one, our chairperson, the minister
was
has
supposed
the
to
come with a
detailed breakdown.
I think we shall get her again.
Okay.
But the preparations, anything to add from Miss Jen?
We are, as she has said, Judith has just said, we are now mobilizing resources from here because having visitors, even at your own home, when you expect visitors, you have to make sure that things are really put in place. Most things are put in place. You don't have to run around on the D-Day. So, like, you know, visitors, we shall need tents, we shall need accommodation, we shall need food, we shall need, the bishop will need to be dressed, people need to drink. So all those are the things which are going to be, they are broken down. But I know the minister has the whole list, and that's what we are trying to get. On the 400 million is not a simple figure.
No, it's not.
It needs many hands coming together. So that's why we are calling upon most of the well-wishers in Kampala, out of Kampala, in Toro,
yes,
Greater Toro, and Western region, and other friends from all regions of this country to come and help us so that we can have our baby born in a comfortable place.
Let's talk about the state of the state of things back home in West Ruwenzori. There's a cathedral. Is it ready for the day? The 21 parishes, are they ready? And the 163 churches, is everybody ready for the day?
The cathedral is almost done. It is there. We pray from there. It has been an archdiocese. So
it has grown.
It has grown now
cathedral.
To the cathedral, pro cathedral now. Then the other archdioceses are ready for him. The churches are ready for him. Though of course now they are going to transform into bigger entities. True. Because now the diocese has come nearer, and we need many more many more development programs within those churches to help the cathedral grow and to help the bishop do his work.
Okay. So maybe let's go to the mobilization, where you will give the people contacts in case they want to contribute something. Of course, as Family TV, this is what we can do to give you platform. So maybe let's start with the bank accounts, then on to the phone numbers.
Yes. The bank account is in Equity Bank, West Ruwenzori Diocese, account number 320-385-1660. Can I repeat it? 320-385-1660.
Okay.
Equity Bank.
Equity Bank, West Ruwenzori Diocese.
All right, and in case somebody wants to maybe call or send on the phone, any phone numbers?
Yes, if somebody wants to send on a phone number, there is 0772 419959. Ada Kabarokole Muanga receives that money on behalf of the diocese.
Okay.
Then there is another person who receives money on behalf of the diocese is Ramadan Kirambi on phone number 0785 588 918. Let me repeat it.
Okay.
0785 588 918. Ramadan Kirambi. Those are the two people who receive money on behalf of the diocese.
All right. I believe that our people who are watching, of course, will contribute something. We need to really contribute something to the house of God, because, of course, that is where our blessings lie. But moving on with the discussion, maybe in the last 10 minutes, let's look at the challenges of the Christian community down in Bundibujo. What exactly are the challenges that they are facing, and any solutions to curb those challenges? Let's start with Jane.
Our people down in Bundibujo, generally the population, they have one cash crop, cocoa. And that cash crop they have a season for it. It is one season which comes, and it is when the cocoa is ready, people have good money. A lot of money, by the way, let me not call it good money. A lot of money. You find at least a smallhold family having $1 million.
Wow.
So it starts in the months of September, and it goes up to the month of around February. And that time, from that time, people are dry. They have no money. So like now, they have to, that is now the time when I see that the diocese might suffer because most people don't have enough money to contribute. But during this time when they are harvesting, the diocese will be okay. And also another challenge is the, of course, environmental problems, the dry spells, the floods, whereby crops are destroyed. And so it makes the people also become poor. Yet we are not supposed to be poor, because Bundibugo is so fertile. We get these soils from the mountainous soils are very fertile. And another thing, we are few. The population is small, so we have to work extra hard to maintain the diocese and to maintain the diocese as a whole, to maintain the bishop and to maintain the diocese, because it's not going to depend on other people. It's going to depend entirely on the people of his diocese. Of course, he will be getting well-wishers, donations, but you cannot depend on donation. Like now, you are seeing Bazungus are running away because of useless things. So for us, we have to tighten our belts to ensure that our bishop. So
this season of cocoa is between which months and which months?
From August to February. Now, like the end of August, mainly the peak is in October. The peak is in October. You see people are enjoying, people are paying school fees. And when the peak is done, you see people beginning to feel uncomfortable.
So after November?
After peak, October, November, December, peak. Then it starts going down, January, February, dwindling, and now, like now, it is almost but it is beginning. We are going into that. So half of the month, half of the year we are not okay. Half of the year we are okay. Yes.
Okay. Anything to add, Mrs. Odoi?
Yes. There are also those challenges of climate change that have affected our district, and therefore they lead to those situations of people being without money. The planning team, I do believe, will not end here when the bishop is enthroned. It may have to continue to do the other planning, to continue to look for resources to support this young diocese. And that calls for us now to sit down and begin to write projects that can bring resources to the diocese so that it can be maintained. And also in the same regard, to appeal to our people to really reduce or stop the cutting down of trees, because we have seen the harm that it has caused. Some of us have been survivors of floods in that area, so we are really calling upon our people to desist from cutting down the trees on the mountain tops and actually plant more so that they can support the soils where we grow our crops, but also to stop the floods that destroy the crops that we have already planted.
That's a very beautiful solution right there. But on the seasons of cocoa, Honorable Jane, what solutions can you give the people of Bundibujo to come up with and maybe sustain themselves in these months where the product is not there? Any solutions? Yeah.
Like now, let me talk about the diocese, as she has been saying. We have to look at other enterprises, like we can start fish farming for the diocese. We can start vegetable growing for the diocese. We can start any other thing which brings in income. We can have gardens of, we can also have the bishop's gardens to be like model gardens, or model farms, like poultry farming, fish farming, which we are going to encourage as a team of able-bodied women and men to help our diocese grow. So that at least within that time, if they see the bishop doing this, they will also copy and they will start doing that. Before somebody sees that this is what happens, you can have an alternative of this. During this dry spell, or during the bad days, they call them bad days, then you can have the fish, and you know we have ready market of fish across Congo. So I think those are some of the enterprises we can come up with to substitute the cocoa dry spell.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we have come to the wrap-up of the discussion, but we do congratulate the Bishop of West Ruwenzori Diocese, Bishop Barnabas Tibaijuka. Of course, we're going to have the last words from the ladies. I believe there's going to be some scripture in there because they are from the church. Maybe let me start with Mrs. Odoi.
Thank you.
Give us the last word.
Thank you so much. They say God blesses a giving hand.
That's true.
That hand that gives is blessed by God. So we appeal to all God-loving people, God's people, to come up and generously contribute resources for this diocese, and we are very sure that God will bless those giving hands.
Amen. Okay, Honorable Jane.
First of all, I want to thank Family TV. It is our, I think it is our own.
Yeah, it is Church of Uganda.
We want to thank Family TV for giving us this opportunity to talk to the population of Uganda. And I know most people are listening. People should really tune on Family TV to get information about the church, to get information about the world and other issues concerning Uganda.
Okay.
And for me, I want to say thank you, and I hope this message will be aired again so that our people can get to know that we've been here, because some of them we didn't know. We just told them in the night and we didn't use the radio. So I think very few people are listening. For me, when I came, I said, I want to thank Family TV by saying God be, using the hymn, to God be the glory.
Okay, thank you so much. To God be the glory. Great things He has done.
That is it.
Okay, thank you so much. It has been a very beautiful discussion, and we wish the people of West Ruwenzori Diocese all the best. We were supposed to have the Honorable Minister of State for Trade, Honorable Ntabazi Harriet, but she was delayed by some things. I think we're going to have another day and have the team back to discuss preparations that are going to happen for the day that is going to happen on 27th August, the inauguration and consecration of Bishop Barnabas Tibaijuka down in West Ruwenzori Diocese. My name is Karo Noama, and thank you so much for being a part of Issues at Hand. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Issues at Hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and